This is the C.A.N. World Factbook. Sorta like the CIA World Factbook, only we don't have to kill you after revealing this information. But we still might. In this segment, we'll be looking at the giant country of the North. No, the friendlier one. Yeah, that one. The North American behemoth of Canada. It is made up of 10 provinces and 3 territories, many of which can eat most of the United States for breakfast. Area, nearly 10 million square kilometers, ranked second in the world, though does it really count when half of it hasn't been shoveled in centuries? Population, nearly 35 million, ranked only 38th in the world, but ranked first by a landslide in total number of players in the National Hockey League. So that's something. Countries it borders, none of consequence. Highest point, Mount Logan, located in Yukon. Elevation, 1,816 meters, and actively rising. Keep it in your pants, Canada. National heroes, a wide variety including former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, athlete and activist Terry Fox, Nobel Peace Prize winner Lester B. Pearson, and of course some guy with 894 goals and 1,963 assists. Maybe not in that order. Largest exports, industrial machinery, aircraft, telecommunications equipment, natural gas, and most importantly, comedic duos who specialize in flatulence humor. Hey, just look at the graph. National anthem, O Canada, because A Canada would have been inappropriate. Popular landmarks for tourists, Niagara Falls, the C.A.N. Tower, the Canadian Rockies, Stanley Park, the Hockey Hall of Fame, and the world's largest Canadian nickel. Well, yeah, where else would that be? Fun fact, Dr. James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, was born in Canada. Thus why the Canadian basketball team is renowned and feared throughout the world. History time! Canada has been settled for as long as 25,000 years ago, when folks traveled across the Bering Strait land bridge until they raised the tolls when it started to go underwater. The Canadian government refers to these peoples as First Nations, since, well, they got there first. However, history shows us that sometimes slow and steady does win the race. After a brief visit by the Vikings, who quickly realized they were too mean for a place like Canada, European settlements popped up along the eastern coast in the 16th century after Jacques Cartier, thinking long and hard about it, claimed the area for France. The name Canada originated when Cartier asked the St. Lawrence Iroquois where he was, who responded that he was in their Canada, their word for village. Thus, that name was superimposed for the entire region, which is like calling Robert De Niro Mole Man just because he's got one.
You talking to me?
Oh no, of course not, Mr. De Niro. French settlers soon came to Canada's shores to take advantage of the promising fur trade. Unfortunately for them, the English wanted a piece of that action too, leading to something called the Beaver Wars, which sounds awesome. Of course, the natives lost out in all this, rapidly depopulating through disease, warfare, and crying too much about pollution. Canada thus became a battleground for Britain and France, who were like that couple that openly fought in public and forced everyone standing around to pick a side. The British gained full control after the 7 Years' War in 1763, and the region remained loyal to the crown even after those weirdos to the south were complaining about taxation without representation and all that jazz. After the American Revolution, many loyalists fled north, and Canada was divided into a section for the English in Upper Canada and a section for the French in Lower Canada, eventually to become Ontario and Quebec respectively. But they also created a few sections for the smelly fishermen whom everyone wanted far enough away. These became New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island. These areas officially joined together as the Canadian Confederation on July 1st, 1867, a date now known as Canada Day, just so they can get the fireworks going 3 days before their neighbor. British Columbia on the west coast would join in 1871 after they built a railroad through the no-man's land in between, and in 1905 they would turn this no-man's land into the new provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. A gold rush at the end of the 19th century convinced people to put on their parkas and head north to the Yukon, while the Northwest Territory remained populated with those Inuits who, contrary to popular belief, really don't have much more words for snow than we do deep-fried potato products. Since Canada was still within the British realm, they participated in both World War I and World War II, beating the teeth out of those Germans each time before serving 5 minutes in the penalty box. Newfoundland joined Canada in 1949, but all was not well in the Union. French-speaking Quebec felt increasingly isolated from the rest of the country, agitated about the alleged marginalization of their language, the conscription laws passed during the wars, and the insistence by many that escargot was the ickiest thing ever. Since the 1960s, attempts have been made to achieve independence nicely through negotiations and referendums, and not so nicely through bombings, kidnappings, and worst of all, graffiti. Oh, that's another 5 minutes in the penalty box. Despite this, Canada remains one of the most successful and stable countries in the world. The Constitution Act of 1982 gave Canada full independence from the British, which proved that you didn't need to fight a revolution if you were just a little more patient. Canada is also renowned for the recent treatment of its Indigenous population. Reforms over the past few decades include giving First Nations self-government, creating the new territory of Nunavut for the Inuit population, and offering monetary reparations for past oopsie-daisies, as they are officially known in the record. As such, Canada remains one of the top choices in the world for visitors, temporary and permanent, and continues to act as an imagined asylum for Americans who are unhappy with their presidential elections. Yeah, conservatives might want to rethink that choice. Thanks for watching this episode of the C.A.N. World Factbook, presented by the Canned Historian. If you like this, make sure to thumbs up the video, watch my other playlists, subscribe to my channel, and all that other YouTube crap. You can also check out my blog, which has a bunch of written histories on it if you're into the whole reading thing. Remember, buddy, those who don't study the past are doomed, eh?